STL Sports Central, which is all content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. It's a Fagan Friday. Ryan Fagan, Joe Roderick here with you. A black polo Friday.
I know, unintentional.
Well.
I promise.
We did not text each other to match today. Cardinals welcome into Braves for a 3-game series, wrapping up the first half of the season. All-Star break all next week, and after you take 2 out of 3 from the Nationals, I think people thought the sky was falling after the loss on Wednesday's game, thinking that there was a possibility that this team was going to beat you. No, it was just Mackenzie Gore being really good. And another lefty.
Fantastic. And I think, there's been a lot of talk about the Cardinals' struggles against lefties, but they've run into some good lefties, right? I mean, they're not just struggling against these guys that are being called up or journeymen. I mean, it's, Gore and all these guys, you look through the list, it's been a tough run here.
It has. And when you look at we've talked so much in this first half of the season about how the team has kind of thrived a little bit against some of these aces.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has, there is like, they've gone in, they've had the good game plans against some of these aces throughout all of baseball. And it's been very apparent though, 2 different times now, 2 different IL stints for Ivan Herrera, just how much this team is missing that bat, and just how, going into the season, it was, it's going to be fun. We're going to watch him hit. He's going to get his chance. He's going to be part of this runway. I don't think anybody ever expected him to be this vital of a piece for this offense.
Yeah. I mean, he's, you look at his numbers and it's clear what he's contributed, but I think the number, as you alluded to, that has made as much of an impact as anything is the games played, right? And the fact that he's not up there with the other guys in the lineup, he's, checking in at 42 games played. I mean, that's less than half the games. And so, if you're looking at any team in baseball, especially one that's kind of operating in the range where the Cardinals are, and you take your best hitter out of the lineup against some of these tough lefties, they're going to struggle. That's just how it's going to happen.
Absolutely. And the Cardinals will send Matthew Liberatore to the mound tonight. Braves are in town. The 40-52. Braves
it is
season. It's
the sky is falling,
and it's one of Atlanta. You look at, just think back to 23 with the Cardinals, where you kind of kept looking at it like, okay, like now, today a 5-game win streak is going to start. Nope, didn't. Okay, no, now a 5-game, you get a 5-game win streak, and this season's really going to take off, and it's going to happen tonight. No, it doesn't happen. It feels like, and that though was after losing Yachty and Albert.
Yeah.
Like, this is a case where the Braves didn't lose. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, who would they have lost? Like,
they've lost a lot of pitching. Most of their pitching has been on the IL this year. But I think you look at what people looked at the Braves and said, this is why they're going to be good for a decade. It's because they've locked these young stars in. They gave Ozzie Albies a long-term contract, Acuna, Michael Harris, Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Sean Murphy. They've got all these guys locked up, and they're going to be awesome every year. Well, no. Michael Harris, as much as I love watching him play defense out there in the outfield, he's been awful this year. His OPS plus is 50. 50. He's been 50% worse than the average major league hitter. Ozzie Albies, his OPS plus is down at 72. He's been awful. Marcell Ozuna lately has been awful. So you've got all these injuries in the rotation. You've got 3 guys who are supposed to be the anchors of your lineup. These guys you gave long-term commitments to, and they've been awful. And I think that's, again, we talked a couple of years ago, like, okay, well, the Braves are in position, and they're going to be in position every year for the life of Ronald Acuna Jr.'s contract. Well, it hasn't happened. Sometimes the best laid plans just don't play out like you want them to.
And it's a case where you don't want to give them life this weekend. You don't want them to have any, because they're gonna, they can go into this weekend and have a great weekend, take the week off, come back to a buzzing Atlanta that is about to experience the All-Star games and all the festivities around that, and then they're going to be at home next weekend. So you don't want to give them, you don't want to be the reason they start on a run for that. It's a case this weekend of, okay, we're gonna keep the foot on the throat for these next 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're talking about where the Cardinals are, and we've talked about this before, but I've written about this forever in my time at Sporting News. Like, the difference between the teams that get into the postseason and the teams that miss the postseason, it's not how good you are against the good teams. It's how you do against the bad teams, right? Because the wins all count the same. We always talk about the wins and in the first 20 games of the season count the same as the wins in the last 20 games. But really what it is if you can rack up W's against the teams you have to beat, the teams that are struggling, the teams that can't figure out who they're going to start, that can't find any runs in lineup, when you don't take 2 out of 3 or sweep a series against those types of teams, that's what costs you playoff spots. If you're a team, again, like the Cardinals, in that conversation for legitimately a conversation for a wild card, but not a conversation for a World Series contender, right? I mean, let's be honest. So they're in that space where a win or 2 here matters, and that's what the series like this and winning the 3rd game against the Nationals, that's what you need to do.
And at no point in any of the I have harped on it many times that this is a playoff contending team because they are 1 game out of a playoff spot. Like, that's the pure definition of it. At no point in time have I ever said World Series contender. I just want to attend a home playoff game for again. Like, it seems like it's been so long. It would have been 22. Like, that's the last time that anybody's gotten to do that.
Yeah.
I just want to do that again. Like, it's just it makes being a baseball fan worth it.
I mean, the postseason's fun,
right?
Not gonna lie, the postseason's a lot of fun. To see and to experience, and I've had the chance to be at postseason games all around the country, and they're all special.
It's just the vibe.
It's just different.
It is. It really is, and that's all that I think that any of us are asking for. Chewy chimes in and says, 2 best pitchers going this series with Gray and Libator. I mean, it was set up that way. And that kind of brings us to the next point here on Card Central 365, powered by Gray Bar. Erick Fedde gets the start on Saturday. Yeah, Mo announced it yesterday. It says it yesterday that he is that he's going to get the start, and that a lot of different factors are playing into that. And I don't buy the factors that are playing into it. It's right. Talking about, we're trying to give him a start to up his value for trading him. He's only owed about $2 million, if that, right now.
Yeah.
You're right now with his performances. If you trade him, you're not getting back. You've talked before. You've talked a few times about what the Royals, when they made their trade to get Cole Reagans, like, they're just a trade. Okay, we're getting somebody. Like, they're not going to get a prospect like that back in return for this.
Yeah, no, they're not.
They're not. So, like, the Yankees, completely different situations, but the Yankees just traded away or just DFA'd DJ LeMahieu, who's owed $15 million next season. Like, this isn't even, hey, it's whatever, we're eating it the rest of the season, it's off the books. Like, they looked at that and said, you're not of any use to us ever again. Like, $15 million for 26. Okay, it's over with.
To be fair, though, LeMahieu was where Fedde is now. LeMahieu was there last year. Yeah, he's been in that scenario for a long time.
But they were like, you know what? We're not going to try to trade you. We're not going to do it. It's just and physically, like, they've said, like, he couldn't play. Like, he was not able to do. It just
getting old.
Stinks, it just hits it. It hits others at different points. With Fedde, though, it's just, okay, you come out last week and you say, you have the quote of McGreevy's a starter. He's a major league starter. There's just not a spot for him. Then you get the outings from Michaelis and Fedde. You have a clear avenue, a clear path to start Fedde on, or to start McGreevy on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's right there for you. Like, there's no bells or whistles or anything around it. And you don't take it. I do not understand the thinking behind it.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed pretty obvious.
Yeah,
that it was a solution that, I mean, every Cardinal fan wanted. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not playing devil's advocate here, but I see a scenario where you want to get him one more start against a team that's not the Cubs, right? Because 2 of the last 3 starts obviously have been awful. They were both against the Cubs, who are one of the best teams in baseball, have a really good offense. So maybe you're chalking it up to that. And I know he had the start in Pittsburgh where he gave up 7 earned 2. So it's been bad, right? But I think maybe they're thinking, let's get it here. Let's give him this one more shot. We'll get into the All-Star break. We'll reset the rotation. We'll do all these things, and we'll come into the second half with the plan for the rest of the second half.
So is it a case then of, hey, if he's good, we're trading him in these next 6 days. If he's bad, then
if he's good, then he gets another start to try to build up trade value, because you're right, because they're not getting anything for him right now. But if he the scenario, let's say he does what close to what Michaelis did in the last start. He goes good. So that would be his 19th start of the year. Let's say he goes 5 innings and gives up 7 hits and 1 run. That would be his 15th start, 16th start of the year with at least 5 innings, right? And I know he's been bad lately, but if you're a contending team and you say, we need help, and this guy is a veteran and he's thrown at least 5 innings in 16 of his 19 starts this year, that's a guy you're willing to consider, right? And then if he does it again in the first start after the trade deadline, then it's 17 out of 20. And that's a guy you maybe can get something from. And I think, if this was a scenario where he had those 3 starts 3 weeks earlier, shift that up, then yeah, he might be gone by now. But I think you get to a scenario where the front office is trying to get anything out of him. And if it doesn't happen, then it's a game or 2 that he starts that they lose, and that could be the difference. But they're trying to salvage Erick Fedde essentially right now. That's my guess.
And then I guess too, you still can call McGreevy up. Like McGreevy could still be called up on Saturday and sitting there, because there are very real possibilities that if Fedde is looking like he's getting blown up quick, like he did on Sunday, then boom, you go right to McGreevy. And in the other case, we saw Sonny Gray get moved up in the rotation on Tuesday, and then huge rain delay, everything. And then he goes out there and
70-something pitches.
Only 70-something pitches, which I don't know if that just was because he's very much a routine guy. So a 2-hour and 20-minute rain delay really screws up a routine to where he's like, all right, I'm done for today. Or was it a case of, okay, you know what, I'm going to pitch Sunday too and go all out. But you also have McGreevy then too, because if Fedde is not great and you have to go, if Fedde does get you through 5 and you can go to your bullpen, then okay, McGreevy's now going to back up Gray. We're going to go just all out, balls to the wall on Saturday, putting out every single person, to where then it's, hey, Gray McGreevy 6-3 on Sunday to wrap up the first half.
Yeah, I mean that's a scenario. And I know, again, it's not,
but it has to be, right? Like, I mean, all this, like for what we just said, like the path was clear to get McGreevy in there, and we know that he's eligible now to be called back up. You got to call him up, right? Like it has to be done in this moment, right?
It would be surprising if he's making another start in Memphis.
Yeah,
he's not part of the equation, because I think and it could be, like I said, it could be that they're trying to get through the end of this half and start the second half with their second half team. Yeah, essentially. Yeah. And theoretically, Herrera's back, and so if Herrera's back and McGreevy's in the rotation and
Walker also back. I mean, Walker homered.
So it could be a scenario where they're just like, let's get through this series against a team that's struggling. We've got 2 of our best pitchers, and try to win the series. Go in that last wild card spot, game out of the last wild card spot, and that's not a bad scenario. Maybe again, just trying to guess what the thinking is. That seems plausible.
We do have lineups for you for tonight's game. We will get to those as we go along here. It's a home game, so that means you are getting your City Connect jerseys tonight in St. Louis. Also, all of the Friday night deals that they have had all season long. Before we get to those, I want to remind you, DraftKings, the sponsor here of all of our content on STL Sports Central. and use the promo code STL Sports. That's STL Sports when you download the DraftKings Pick 6 app. Customers who play $5 get $50 in bonus picks on the DraftKings Pick 6 app. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Was trying to see if we had our lineups graphic ready, but I will just read it to you as that comes through, and it's pretty simple, straightforward. Brendan Donovan is at second tonight, leading off. Mason Wynn at short, Alec Burleson in right, Wilson Contreras at first, Lars Nootbaar in left, Nolan Arenado at third, Nolan Gorman DHs, Pedro Pages behind the plate, and Victor Scott II is in center field. Matthew Liberatore on the mound for the Cardinals today, facing right-handed pitcher. So they are facing a righty. Grant Holmes, 4-8 on the season with a 3.44 ERA, 118 strikeouts for Holmes on the season. You mentioned Herrera coming back second half of the season. Probably would imagine Walker also back. Garrett Hampson is the easy out for that. I guess for me, it's the JC. I would imagine also. I
mean, he hasn't really gotten a chance to do anything. So maybe you want to give him more at bats, and he hasn't done much when he's when he's had them. So it makes sense.
Right, and that's too after it sucks because he was hitting so well.
Yeah.
First round
little stint,
that you would have liked to see him stick around and see what you could have gotten out of him for a while with that too. But it's just there's no spot for him. It's just not there right now in the moment. Lars Nootbaar having a decent week. I'll take credit for lighting that fire and getting him going.
I'll let you have it. Sure.
Week. Yeah, I'll take it. I don't know, whatever. But another double last night, 2-hit game with a home run the other night. So he's gotten that average up to a whopping 230 now on the.
We've talked about this. Look, the Cardinals' best lineup is when he's hitting well. Right, when he's that left-handed bat in there and he's doing his thing. When he's not, that's when it starts to get a little complicated. That's when, But if he could have a big, mentally too. He's a guy that he takes the highs and lows, and he doesn't always take them even keel as you might want. He can have a good series, finish off the first half strong. Yeah.
So. By the way, so in the comments, Bill Downtown said he hopes that Mo leaves after the trade deadline. I think Mo has said as soon as the trade deadline's done, he's handing things off.
It's not gonna. It's not. I don't know exactly when it's gonna be, but it's not a scenario where it's in November he's handing the reins off.
Right. Yeah. He has kind of said, I'm.
It's still weird, man.
Right.
Because it's not like Bloom just was hired in the off season.
It's
weird.
When you look at what the Nationals just did too, having the number 1 pick and saying, look, this manager and this GM aren't going to be here. For we don't want them here. We're not renewing them here for this guy, whoever we pick, whether it be Ethan Holiday or somebody else. They're not going to be here for his career. So we're just, we're making the move now. It is weird. I know Randy Flores is pretty much the guy that is making the pick, but to have your GM essentially here for that when you know that whoever you pick as the number 5 pick in the draft isn't going to be here. You would think. I would imagine Flores is having conversations with Bloom and that's the guy that they're kind of going to.
But that national scenario, man, that was, to make that decision when they did, I get it. They had hoped that this season was going to be their bounce back year, right? They had some young guys in place, and James Wood has been good, and CJ Abrams was bounce back year, and Dylan Cruz hasn't done much of anything. But the pieces were there. But to make that decision, and again, this is not like a baseball draft where there's a Bryce Harper, right? There's not a clear one, and it's not like even when
what you're going for, you're essentially saying, okay, Jackson Holiday was a clear cut number 1, and this is his brother who we think is better.
there's really legitimately 4 guys that could make a good case for the number 1 pick, which is, as a Cardinal fan, you're thinking, well, aren't we picking 5th? But there's still going to be good players there. Most of the guys have draft people have Eli Willits, who's the son of Reggie Willits, a Major League Baseball player, and another prep shortstop out of Oklahoma, which is wild that there could be 2 prep shortstops out of Oklahoma going in the top 5. But for the Nationals, it was just the timing was odd. Like, if you're going to do this, it's not a rash decision, but man, do it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
I wonder what, as you look at MLB, the storylines around the draft and the things, you can kind of create out of your own mind. Do you want both Holiday brothers in the Beltway? Like, is that a good storyline for an area that hasn't seen a whole lot of baseball success that you have?
It could be. I mean,
is that a good storyline?
Stepping back, it'd be a lot of fun.
Or is the other storyline, okay, hey, Ethan Holiday is either going to go to the Rockies or the Cardinals where his dad played. Like, what's the better story?
I mean, everyone seems to think that there's no way that Ethan Holiday gets past the Rockies at 4.
Right.
Like, that feels like his floor.
Yeah.
Unless things go haywire. Which, I mean, the Rockies haven't made a lot of great decisions in the last 10 years.
Would the Cardinals let him fall? Like, if the Cardinals had that opportunity?
I don't. He's that legit of a talent that, regardless of whether Matt Holliday had ever played for the Cardinals, the team at number 5 couldn't let him go.
Right.
And and the only reason he could possibly get there is because the teams at 2 and 3, they're not necessarily looking at high school.
The Rockies would have to do that, right?
They have
MLB would have to step in and just say, listen,
sorry, you've got to take this guy.
Like, hey, your pick's it. No, we haven't. No, we filled it out for you. Matt Holliday talked about it. If you go and if you search the Serving It Up podcast and you see the links that we have, Matt Holliday does talk about that, and it is a little crazy too. I mean, with baseball, the way the draft works and how you do see it take, sometimes, especially with high school guys, it does take time. Like, it's like, he's either going number 1 overall or he's going to go 4, like 2 and 3. Like, there's no way, like, nobody's talking about him possibly going 2 or 3.
I mean, I guess he could, depending on if he doesn't go number 1, but most of the scouts are the folks like Baseball America, MLB.com, Draftline, Pipeline. Yeah, they all seem to think it's 1 or 4, and everyone says on number 5, if Holiday's here, which he won't be, the Cardinals would take him at 5.
And then, Bill Downtown says if there's the only way he falls is his dad says no to the Rockies. So that was another. I mean, Matt did address that in the podcast too. He said, no, there's no team. Like, we're not sitting here saying that there's no team. Like, I think he does look at the organizations. He's like, I think Matt does have confidence in some of these organizations where, if the Rockies were to go take him, they're.
I mean, of course, Matt's not going to say that on a podcast, but
maybe he would.
If
he wants downloads, if he wants those clicks, and I mean, we want those clicks for them. So I would urge Matt to say whatever he's feeling in the moment, whatever is going to get us the most clicks.
Yeah,
he did not say that.
He did not say that.
No. So outside of that, like, this isn't. You don't have that clear cut, and
and now
with that,
and the thing is, like, more than almost any decision maker in baseball, Mike Rizzo, the guy the Nationals just fired, he's a scout. Like, he's a scout first, right? He's not just listening to scouts, which he obviously does, but he's got his own instincts too. So to take a scout-focused GM, team president, whatever his official title was, out of the equation a week before, it's mind-boggling. I mean, look, the top 4 guys should all be very good. Like, I don't think there's a scenario where they completely screw it up unless they decide to go and save money and give an underslot contract to whoever they take number 1. Like, that would be a debacle. And that's a scenario where potentially Ethan Holiday is available at 5 if one of those other teams don't go best talent and try to pick somebody who would be available, who's predicted in the 10 to 20 range. Take him 1, so you save the slot money, and then you can have more room to maneuver. Which, I mean, if any ownership group's going to do it, it's the Nationals, but that still seems unlikely.
Going into this weekend, it's Braves and it's Cardinals. I don't know if you have looked elsewhere, but MLB does not have anybody listed for the Braves starters
ESPN
on
doesn't
Saturday
have
or
anyone.
Sunday.
They just have Holmes.
Yeah, I was gonna say MLB doesn't have it either.
Yeah.
So that ESPN had
I don't think
Holmes.
the Braves know.
So you see that, and you go into this weekend. A game like tonight is really, really important to get off on the right foot. You just went out there, you scored 8 runs yesterday in the game. The offense was fun to watch again. I mean, when all that offense,
I mean, Holmes has been good. Like, I think,
yeah,
not to interrupt you, sorry, but like the key against Holmes is to be patient, right? He strikes out a lot of guys, but he walks a lot of guys. He's leading the National League in walks allowed. So you want to see pitches, you want to make him make pitches, and you don't want to swing at that stuff outside the zone. I think you can look at some of the guys that are in the lineup today. You have it's guys like Donovan setting the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I almost guarantee you Donovan's going to see like 5 to 7 pitches in that first at bat because he's just going to like make him work and just show Holmes, okay, we're going to make you throw every pitch for a strike. We're not going to chase outside the zone, unless he throws 3 down the pipe and then he's got to do something. But yeah, I think you're going to see that the Cardinals try to be patient. You should see that the Cardinals try to be patient at the plate against a guy who has a tendency to give up walks, even though he's got some good stuff.
Yeah, and also too, Braves coming from they're in St. Louis tonight, I believe. They played a night game last evening in Sacramento. So play the game last night in Sacramento, then fly into St. Louis for the game tonight.
Yeah,
so,
I still follow a lot of people, Braves related people on social media, and it is. They're not happy right now.
And that's if they were not hosting the All-Star game next week with Brian Snitker on that coaching staff, with Dave Roberts and everything that's going to go into that, do you think Snitker be gone by now? Like, do you think some of that plays into it where it's like we're 100%. Showcased, he's going to be there? Like, is that something maybe a week after? Like, if they don't start off, they get a bad week to start off, they're like, hey, listen, maybe you should retire.
Yeah, at this point, I think it feels unlikely that Snit will finish the season,
right,
one way or the other. I mean, look, his career has been fantastic, right? Yeah. He was a long-time organization guy. He got the job as an interim role. The team produced very well under him to start. And, he proved that he was a good manager, not just an interim manager, not just a bench coach. He was a good manager, and the Braves had a lot of success under him. And, it feels like that time has kind of passed. And it's time to say, thanks for everything you've done. We're going to go a different direction.
And he probably too, like, looking at it, it's like, okay, if this is my last year, I'm just, why keep going at this rate with that?
I mean, it's his 10th year. I mean, nobody expected him to last past that interim title.
Got the World Series.
Yeah, got the World Series. A lot of playoff positions. Yeah, it's been good. It's not good right now.
No. So going into tonight's game, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's one of those where keep the foot on the throat type of series, and just head into the break right now. Record for the Cardinals of 50-44 on the season. The most they've been up in a year is 9 games over 500. So this is a series again.
It's an opportunity.
It's a winnable series. A series that you very well could sweep if you win tonight's game and get through. What is if you are looking at it, what makes a successful Erick Fedde start on Saturday?
To start with 5 innings.
Okay.
Right. Because that's the baseline. Because, I know
he didn't get out of 2 on Sunday. So now you're asking for 5. He got 5 outs on, did he get 5 outs or did he go 1 1/3? Did he get 4 outs or 5 outs the other day?
He got 4 outs.
Okay. So he got 4 outs and now you're asking for 5 innings.
Also, he only threw 53 pitches. Now they were 53 bad pitches. But he should be.
A lot of those were balls.
He should be rested, theoretically, right? No, I mean, we talked about this earlier. I mean, it was a disaster start, coming on back-to-back of 7 earned runs and two starts in a row. But his MO has been he's going to give 6 innings. 5 innings. He's going to give 5 innings, maybe 6. but that's what he's going to do. So a successful start is getting to 5 innings where they have a chance. Not like the 5 innings against Pittsburgh where he gave up 10 hits and 7 runs, but I mean, a successful start is 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. You know, I think that they would be thrilled with that. He would be thrilled with that. Again, and teams that are looking at how can we potentially add to our 5th starter competition, our long relief type of equation. I mean, guys that can give 5 innings on a regular basis, they don't have to be 5 shutout innings, which he's done a couple times this year. I mean, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 starts where he's gone at least 5 innings and not a lot of run. I mean, that's not nothing. Right. We'll see. I mean, we'll see again. And, you know, I sound like a Erick Fedde apologist. I'm not. But you just look at the numbers and he has been generally pretty good. 2 of he's had 4 disaster starts this year. 3 of them one was in Boston and 2 were against the Cubs. Yeah. Right. Some pretty good lineups.
I just kind of look at, I mean, it's right now he is the roadblock for Michael McGreevy. And that's the guy that I think needs to be in the rotation.
Yeah, I get that.
If you are going to be serious about making the postseason.
I still think Michaelis might be as much of a roadblock as Fedde. I know they have more options with right. Fedde because they can actually trade him, and Michaelis has the no trade clause. So it's a different conversation. But I mean, if you're asking me, who do I think would give more value for the Cardinals in August and September in the rotation between Michaelis and Fedde, I'd still pick Fedde. And I know everyone's going to disagree with me on that. But if I'm going to give 10 more starts over the year, 9 more starts over the year, at the moment, I'm probably still giving them to Fedde. And I don't think that's a great thing. But, yeah.
Cardinals won their 50th game last season, right before the All-Star break as well. They went into the All-Star break last year at 50-46. So that they're
familiar.
Right on pace for that before things kind of fell apart for them in the second half of the season. They will look to end the first half of the season on a much higher note, welcoming the Braves in town. We know it's Grant Holmes tonight. We don't know who they are facing on Saturday or Sunday, but keep it locked in to STL Sports Central all weekend long. We'll have a post-game show after the game tonight, 365, and post-game shows all weekend long as well. And then Brendan Schaefer will be down in Atlanta at the All-Star Game festivities Monday and Tuesday for people to check that out as on all of our socials and right here on our YouTube page. Make sure you like and subscribe to it so you know when we go live with all of our content all weekend long here on STL Sports Central. All of our content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Card Central 365 powered each and every day by Gray Bar. He is Ryan Fagan. I'm Joe Roderick. Talk to you next time right here on STL Sports Central.